One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Can you hear me? Here I go. I see I'm live now. Guys, I don't even know what just happened. Uh, I was talking and it disappeared or whatever the case may be. So I put that ahead and had this conversation real quick. Right now, we know in the world of sports, Super Bowl is here, right? So now that we know it's here, uh, in that game, there's someone that's called a quarterback. Wow, really? I didn't even know that. I started it live and then whatever, something blanked out on my tablet. Afternoon, we had the afternoon. So I was talking and then it's like it crashed. So I'm like, oh Lord, this is some bull swaggy, right? I did see a couple of you guys did. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Meek. Shout out to Riaz. Afternoon, good morning, respectfully. I saw Susanna there. Uh, good morning to her if she's still there. But, sometimes things happen to make you stop your flow, right? And this tried to stop my flow, but I have to speak about this because at the end of the day, it's a lot going on and glad to hear Riaz. And just the simple fact that, this needs to be mentioned, this needs to be spoken about. It's crazy, right? But going back to the analogy, right? In the game of football, you have a quarterback, right? And I told y'all before, his job is to pass the ball. So now we have to pertain that to people that's going to be in our lives. Commander, what up, Nine? Um, and so too is this aspect, right? To complete, right? We have to complete to the people, to the open person that's going to be open to you. Why is that important? Because there's so many things that has to happen in an everyday life in order for you to grow, to elevate, to become your better self. And one of those things is to have that person that's going to be there to openly support you, not just to be a yes man or a yes woman, but to be honest and open and support you in the aspects of you in developing into your best self, your greatest self, right? So when that occurs, you know, that you have to the person on the other end is really going to show you the support that you truly need in order to develop, right? For example, shout out to the word, right? This morning, well, last night, this morning, we was on there late, but the conversation was about not breaking generational curses, but just breaking cycles, breaking chains, right? Allowing what what happens in your childhood shouldn't be happening, you know you know, that bad effect shouldn't be happening in your everyday life. But some of the problem is we don't have the confidence to reach out to people because so many people are hurt in today's world, today's society, for whatever reason, whether it's trauma, whether it's observation of what they've seen before or whatever have you. So now we look at it today, right? There's so many people that think that they can do this by themselves. But you have to understand there has to be a team that develops, right? That in order for you to succeed in life, because no man is an island, no woman is an island. You're not supposed to do everything on your own accord. You're gonna need the help. You're gonna need the assistance, right? For example, if you fall down, it's nice to have that hand that comes out and reaches for you to pull you up because it's a lot harder for you to climb up to get up by yourself because you exert more energy, right? That's the importance of completing the relationships that's been that you are trying to develop, right? But it's it's also important to be received by people that wants to receive you, right? A lot of the times we go all out for those people that we care for, we think are very important. We see assets, we see the greatness or the positiveness of that person, even when they can't see it in themselves sometimes. And sometimes that's a hurtful thing, right? Because we're receiving them, but they're not receiving us. And a lot of the time, like I'm very guilty of that. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose when I see there's a possibility in somebody, right? I've lost many friendships. I've lost many relationships in the family because I've I've stuck around longer than I had to. But I made the attempt to be receptive of these people, and they kindly, well, I'm not going to say kindly, because a lot of the times people could be very disrespectful, very rude, and turn around and reject it. And like I said, that's a hurtful thing. But a lot of the times, even as you develop in your newness, your you know in your growth process, there's things that's going to hurt you. And it's not even about the fear of somebody not accepting you for who you are. It's just the fact that you don't like to lose. And even in that field, we have to understand that that has to take place, because we aren't going to be received by everybody, right? There's people out there that's going to try to deflect what you're doing in your everyday life. There's people that's not going to accept that you are trying to be the best version of yourself. So they're going to play the defense of not wanting you to succeed. So you have to understand how to read what's in front of you. You have to know where to go, who to pick, which which option to run when you come across those certain type of people, those certain type of defenses that's trying to stop you from progressing. And we see it on here a lot, right? We believe people are developing, relationships, uh relationships far as, friendships and things of that nature. But are they really doing that? Is there really that admiration of respect that's developing between the two, or are they just saying that because they want you to follow them, they want you to, hear what they say, they want their likes to go up, they want their views to go up, or whatever have you. And a lot of the time that's crazy, because it's not like, for me, it's not about that, right? I genuinely come out here to be a help and not a hindrance, right? So if I do that, I have to consistently be who I am. I hope that my consistency can be the completion to show people that, hey, he's really trying to be there for people. He really wants people to be at their best selves. He's really trying to grow with them and not against them. But there's so many people that has so many different ulterior motives. So it's like you're playing one on everybody, right? But we have to break that chain, as Word was saying last night. We have to let that go, because we even now there's an understanding for me that everybody's not going to be understanding of what I'm saying. Everybody's not going to agree with uh the objective of trying to grow a community, a comfortness for people to come in to have those conversations. Why? Because people don't want to be vulnerable. Like here, I'm vulnerable. I promise you. The way I'm speaking now is a passion coming from me. It's something that I truly believe that is a necessity. We was talking about wants and needs last night, right? So in order for me to show that I am genuine, I need to give it my all. I need people to understand that I'm really trying to be received by people that wants to be receptive of me. Not because I need you to be receptive of me. I just think that, it just helps to know that there's somebody on your side that's going to be there for you, that's going to care for you. Dare I say even love. Oh my gosh, I said something wrong on YouTube. I said the word love. Love is a key part of any type of development, right? There has to be a connection, and caring and love is a part of it, even if it doesn't go as far as the highest of love, right? But a relationship must be developed. So I can sit there and tell Meek I care. I'm glad that you're okay, and she understands that I mean it. I can tell Riaz I'm glad you're okay, and he understands that, that's a genuine thing. Why? Because every time we speak, the consistency is there. He always says, Gary, how you doing? I'm doing fine, fam. And I'm like, Riaz, I'm glad to hear. And I always greet him at whatever time zone he is, right? He's in the UK. We in America. So I try to be respectful, not say what I would normally say to everybody else that's in America. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand we are reaching people all across the world, right? So it's, what is it, like 4:23? It's like 4:23 over there. So I have to say good afternoon to him. I can't say good morning because he's in the middle of the day. You see what I mean? And it's all about the understanding. Like, wow, he actually took the time to say good afternoon. He actually took the time to see that there's a difference of in the time zones. He understands that it's afternoon instead of morning because I'm in America. So that's a respect that, that has to be built. There's a completion of understanding between me and Riaz. There's a completion between me and Meek, because she receives that when we have our conversations. Good morning, Scott. When we have our conversations, it's going to go the way it's going to go, and there's no malice involved. There's no harshness. There's no disrespect, but there's actually genuine, caring, loving conversations, even when she's down or even when I'm down, right? Because it's a part of the ass. It's a part of the acts when you develop the relationships, right? But there's somebody always on the other end that's willing to receive you to as you are, right? With the intent of, seeing where this can go. If you can develop into or improve into another level of who you are or supposed to be, right? We all come on here with ideas. We all come on here, with a message, right? Some of us have good messages. Some of us are just talking. But if we're trying to help people, we should be completing and receiving each other to where, how can we do this together in order for us to make people better? As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us. How do we do that? We take the time by, completing the conversations with one another. We have to be receptive of each other's idea and not be afraid that, well, his idea or her idea is more important than my idea. No, if you do the work, all can be received with the idea of making that one goal connect, which is to help develop people, not help develop people, but help people to improve in themselves, to make themselves come from their lows to their highs. Not to say that everybody is down in the dumps or whatever, but there are. If we're gonna be realistic, we're gonna say that, hey, there's a lot of hurt people on this app. There's a lot of hurt people that needs that one or that group of people that can help them to get away from their hurts, to get away from their pains. There's so many people that started in one aspect and switched over to another aspect in their messages and in their deliveries. Why? I don't know. But what we do know is that when you are consistently looking out for that person, they should be receiving what you are giving them. There is a reception that the ball is being thrown and is being caught at the same time by the person you throwing it to. And when that happens, there's a rapport that should be developing. Now, not now there's we get to the point to where, I know you getting ready to go over here, so I'm gonna meet you right there so we can go ahead and have the conversation or give you the support that you need. Right? If you know where you're going, if you know where you're going and I know where you're going, we can meet there without even talking sometimes. The reception is going to be complete because only you and I understand where we're trying to go together. But because people have a knack of involving un, I'm not going to say unnecessary people, but people that are not on the same agenda as you or not trying to develop the goals that you have or even just support you. There's always going to be somebody there trying to to stop the past from going through, to stop your progress pretty much. And we have to all find a way to get away from that individual, whether it's going left when they think we're going right, or stopping before we get anywhere near them, and just be ready to receive what what the people that want you to grow have for you. Right? We know that there's greatness in numbers, right? But we also know that you could be the one to overcome a whole bunch of things. We may just be here for seasons for people, and I understand that now, because like I said, I've developed, I developed friendships, and some people may say I fumbled them, right? I fumbled their relationship with them, or I just wasn't receptive of it. I can take that, because you know it's possible. I can't just turn around and say everybody's wrong for thinking that way. But if I am at fault, I have to be accountable. I always tell people I can't count unless I'm accountable. So I have to be accountable for my actions. And that's why I have to be consistent with the things that I say. I have to be consistent with the actions that I do. If we understand that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so is the actions that you display on this app, because in all reality, what you do here is what you should be doing in real life, because they are one and the same. It's the fact that people don't understand what you say here can carry on to everyday life is a part of the incompletion of people's daily lives, because what you say here can go on and go forward. Right? What I'm saying right now could resonate with somebody, and they can take that, they can stop viewing right now and go ahead and apply it to themselves and see that, hey, this thing actually, what he said, it actually makes sense. What he said is actually a good point. It works for me. So we can't just turn around and say, well, this is not real, because of course it's real. The problem is people don't understand that because this is real, they tend to give they give too much to people that don't want to be receptive of them. They don't, we don't have that understanding. We can't read the defense that's in front of us. Why? Because we see one thing and it goes another way. Double speak, what's going on with you? Right? And when that occurs, you don't, you may not have that experience, right? You may be a rookie at this point in time, right? What do I mean, a rookie? You may not have the experience of knowing how to understand people that's in front of you. You may not have that understanding of what a person's agenda is, right? Everybody says that they have discernment, but in the beginning, you don't have discernment because you don't know what discernment is. You have to complete the courses in your everyday life to receive discernment. It's the same way it is how you gotta, receive people in everyday life in this YouTube app. Same thing. Why? Because whether you understand it or not, they have an effect on you. I always said that no matter what you view yourself as, if you push live on this thing, you have now become an influencer. You're a content creator, but more importantly, you are influencing people. So whatever it is that you're trying to display, you are now influencing people. So you have to understand you want people to receive what you're giving. That's why, a lot of the times I try not to come on here and act a fool. I try my hardest not to come in here and use profanity. Why? Because I want the words to be receptive and not, you know, taken any other way. I want to be constructive and not destructive. So this is the things that we have to do going forward, right? Like I said, you have to know what people's agenda is. You have to understand what's in front of you. You have to see people for who they are. It's not a one day thing. It takes time. But because a 33 brother, what up though? Right? If we don't understand what's in front of us, how do we know if that person's going to change their direction if we step up to the plate, or if we step back to see where things are going? Right? We don't know, but it takes time. If we understand that Rome wasn't built in a day, how do you think a friendship is just going to develop overnight? Right? It takes time, right? Like, let me give y'all an example, right? In the 9%, right? I was following that group for a little while, right? And I seen the cohesion that they all had or all have. Like I said, have or have, whatever, however you want to look at it, right? And I understood that their goal was, to uplift, to teach, to want the best for people. That's what made me come on here in the first place. And so I followed them. And now, a year later, they 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 threw the pass to me. I received it, and now we're all on the same team. Right? We're trying to win, we're trying to do the same goal. We're trying to win the race. We're trying to get to the ultimate game, the Super Bowl, to get to the victory, to see people become better versions of themselves. That's why I can always quote them and say that a better you is a better us, because that's what their agenda is. It's not just to make themselves better, it's to make everybody better, right? Because if you improve, we improve. If we building something, if I do my part, they do their part, it's a whole grand opening, because there's a building now for everybody to come and be the people that they want to be. But in order for that to occur, we understand that we have to make it a comfortable spot, right? So we sit there and we all, like, for me, I always check on people, right? I say, hey, how you doing? Or you know, we greet each other like, what up, nine? So that way we understand that, hey, we together. We are trying to be one, right? We understand it takes time, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our time. We're not going to develop it overnight. And even when things stagnate, right? The momentum may not be going your way. You got to stay on course. If you stay on course, there's going to be a change in that momentum. Things are going to go your way. You can't just pick up your ball and leave because things ain't going your way. If it ain't going your way, that may not be the person for you. That may not be the fit for you, And because of that, sometimes you have to take a time out. Like, there's so much frustration. You're like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to let me sit out. Like, let me sit out for a little while. But I understand that quitters never win, and winners never quit. So I have to keep going. I have to stay the course. I understand that the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to those who endure. So I have to endure the lulls as well as just, ride the highs. But a lot of people want the finished product. A lot of people don't want to do the work. I'm going to have a conversation soon about what happens when you ask for something and not do it. But, I'm telling y'all, there's going to be people that's not going to like how I approach it. But at this point in time, I don't care. I don't care, because some people need to understand what the situation is. You know, I understand that nice people finish last, right? So, for me, I'm staying that course, right? But I don't care how many people receive it, right? If it reaches one person, I did my part. If it helps somebody to say, you know what, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm applying it and it's working for me. I've done my part. Now I have to keep going to see if the next person is going to receive it or the next. It's not about winning 1,000 for me. It's about winning the people that's here to support me. So, you know, I've come to an understanding because people are constantly telling me, it's not about everybody. It's for those that really wants the work done. And if they want the work done, they're going to stand by you, right? Like that was profound for me because I'm saying to myself, that is crazy because at the end of the day, we out here trying to understand who's doing what, but at the same time, who is actually applying what you're saying? Who are you even applying what you're saying? That's why I have to be consistent. I have to I have to let my consistency be straightforward because if I don't, if people see the inconsistency, they won't listen to me, right? So it's not about building a wall around me for my protection. It's about me. It's about me making sure that that word gets out there. People always ask why you don't never show your face because I don't want my face to be seen. It's the message that I'm trying to for people to understand and see. I want that to be the focal point, not if he's handsome or not, or if he's 10 feet tall. Well, since y'all want to know what the tallness is, what is the Goliath that's holding you back from building the proper relationships in your life? What is the Goliath that's holding you from receiving the path that somebody's trying to give you to become you're a better version of yourself. We always got the question, but when it's time for the question for you, the individual, we tend to shy away from it, or we deflect and ask a question. We answer the question with a question. No, you got to be accountable with your roles in everybody's life, right? And I get it because people may not understand. I can't be around the mess. If I'm trying to be consistent and encouraging, I can't be around mess, right? And that's just the way it is. I can't allow that to influence me to say, you know what, now that I'm over here in the mess, now if I follow suit, I can't be the person that I'm portraying to be. I can't be that person. Why? Because the mess has influenced me. So I have to stay away from mess. I'm trying to be blessed. I'm trying to be a blessing. If you're trying to be a blessing, how could you bless in mess? Who's gonna receive it? They're gonna look at you like, hey, you weird. Because at the end of the day, if we understand Jesus wasn't accepted by his own, why would people accept you, the outsider, in a hornet's nest when you trying to stop the hornets from building? You see what I mean? It's all about what you doing to allow yourself to be receptive of people. You have to complete that path. You have to complete that relationship, right? If it doesn't work, it's okay. It's just the incomplete path. Guess what else? Guess what happens now? You got a few more downs to go, right? You just know that person may be defended well. Maybe they got walls up to where they don't want to, they're being guarded or double teamed, or they may not run the route the way that you run it. It's okay. You can either practice with them after the game, or you say, you know what, I understand we just not working together, so we're gonna have to part ways. Either you step away from the team or they're gonna step away from you. A lot of the time they do it for you. I don't understand what you're saying, so I need to go walk away. I don't want to be a part of this team. And that's okay, you know but like I said earlier, for me, it's the fact that you can see so much potential in people. You see it, you see people got a heart of gold, but you only see it through a crack. Why? Because they got a chink of armor up around them to where they don't want to receive the energy that you bring in. They don't want to receive the message that we can work together well, right? It used to be quite a few people that I used to love to come on here and have the conversation with, right? And some they're here, but they're no longer here, right? I have to take that, I take that loss, but I also thought that the development of the relationship that we grew was important. I thought we can do things that work, wonders, right? But if they decide to take they decide to take their talent somewhere else, I don't feel the loss. I feel the loss because I'm not helping them anymore. But at the same time, hey, if you still need me, I'm available. You need to talk, I'm still here. Why? Because you still have to be who you are. You can't let the world change you for who you want to be. We have to be in the world, right? But not of it. Means we gotta be here, but we can be the individuals that we want to be. You have to find the like minded people and and develop what you have to develop, right? If you do, then you're gonna be where you need to be in life and in the situation. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be cruel or anything of that aspect. If you've been following me, you know that's never been my intention, right? So if that's what it is, if you know my intention, then you understand that that's not my agenda. My agenda is to help and not hurt. Because if I'm hurting you, I remove myself because that's the thing. I want to be received as a person that's willing to be available to help you. If you have something on your heart that you feel like you can't get away from, feel free. If I'm the last person on the planet, let me know if I can help you. I say that all the time. And like I said, people have testimonies of me in the background. That's not for me to say because, excuse me, that's their story. It's not about me getting the glory. It's about them receiving the help. And that's the receptions that we are trying to develop here. Those are the completions that we really want. So we can keep the drive going. We can get into scoring positions, right? Because each one teach one. And if we teaching one, we could teach another. And while we teaching, we can develop something that's greater than any weapon that could be formed against us. We can have each other's back. We can set up our walls. My weakness is no longer a weakness because there's somebody behind me that received me, and now their my weakness is their strength. They got my back, right? Right now, if I go through a situation, I know Meek got my back. I know Commander got my back. I know Scorp got my back. Even though she's unique in her style, but I understand that she has my back. That's the type of people that you need around you. That's the type of people that helps you complete the unification of a community or a tribe. Why? Because we all have an understanding, and I hope that they understand that I got their back. What their weakness is, if we know what it is, we're gonna develop a defense behind it so nothing can stop them from being who they are. Right? We continuously look to the hill from which our hope comes, but we gotta understand that the help is already in front of us. Stop keep you keep your head up because you keep your head up because even when things are down, your help is coming from on above, right? You got to be the best version of yourself, right? You're not going to reach your greatness at your lowest level. So elevate yourself. How do you elevate yourself? You put people around you that's going to receive the pain. Let me take that off your plate so that way you got something else you got room to eat something else to develop yourself. That's what we're here for. That's what we're supposed to be here for. Whether it's a group, whether it's, individual friendships. But if they understand you and they love you like they're supposed to, if that admiration is there, the completion will be made, right? If you gotta throw a tight pass to somebody, it's intended for you. It's up for you to make yourself available, right? If word comes to me and say, you know what, I got an idea. Let's talk about A, B, and C. Okay, cool. The fact that he has the confidence in me to say, yo, I'm throwing you the pass. I need you. All right, let's complete it together. That's a blessing. That's an honor. That's an honor that a lot of people may not get from another person. You know what I mean? And when that happens, you become a impactful person, an impact player. That makes you dangerous. So now that while people are surrounding you to double cover you, we got an opportunity to help somebody else become a better version of themselves. We can all do the work, but you got to want to do the work, right? We was talking about wants and need. For me, it's a necessity to make the completion possible, right? So I have to do whatever I can to make sure that you are available, that you're open enough to receive the pass. What's the point of what's the purpose of throwing into a double team if they're double covered and they're not going to receive it? Somebody's going to take your idea, your momentum, and intercept it. And those are the things that you Naka, good morning. Good morning. Those are the things that you trying to get away from, right? You're trying to get away so you can have the room to drop to drive down the field, whatever proverbial field it is. You know, we trying to score touchdowns. We're not trying to kick field goals. Why? Because touchdowns are more valuable than field goals. Now, if we got to kick the field goal to win the game, that's something different. But we trying to get six instead of three, meaning we trying to score the, we trying to go into the red zone and deliver the touchdown. But in order to deliver the touchdown, we all have to work together. The receivers got to be available. The people that's protecting me has to know what's coming in front of us to make the proper adjustments to block in front of us. But we understand that it takes a community. That's why the completion is necessary. You have to have a group of people to be on one accord, and that's what we're working towards as individuals, the 9% as a group, and everything else that happens, right? So those are the things that we have to do as far as, making ourselves available. Those are the things that we have to do in order to make the completion to for the receiver to complete the pass. Now the question is, are we willing to do that? Are we willing to work together in order for this to be possible? Right? We not a we not a we're not a 60-minute team. For me, I don't, I understand that it may be a seasonal position for a lot of people. I might be a seasonal position for people. And if I get let go, I have to understand if I do my part, that's all I can control. If I do my part, but if we're working on the same page, the reception is going to be a beautiful thing, and we can continue going forward with whatever it is that we're going forward with. So those are the things that we have to do going forward, right? Because at the end of the day, we can't just keep sitting here and go back and forth and have you know three and outs, meaning we're not progressing well enough. We got to play defense all the time. Sometimes our greatest defense is our great offense, and sometimes the great offense is a great defense, right? Because if we get the opportunity, we can take the ball away from people, and we can move forward with the extra possessions that we're developing, right? So we have to understand that it's going to take a lot of work for us to do this, and there's no doubt about it. But at the same time, we have to also know that you know we have to work while a day, because when night comes, no man can work. So we have to do it today. We have to do that now, right? So let's just continue to, let's continue to practice on what we need to practice on to be in sync with one another. Let's know what courses we need to do to develop into a working unit. My question is, are we going to uh continue to practice and put it in the game form, or are we just going to keep sitting here to talk about it? The completions are necessary, everybody. We have to want people to receive it, but we also have to be uh we have to be on one accord. We have to be on one page, right? And I'm not here, like, I'm not on this app to fight with anybody. I'm not on here to gossip with anybody. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm not knocking anybody that does that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if we are here to help develop people, then that's what we should be doing. That's the goal for me, like to help people to to allow people to see, hey, there's another avenue. Hey, there's a person that I could talk to, and they're not going to criticize me or judge me, right? Shout out to my 33 brother, right? He does things to where he gives you coaching aspects of how to handle situations. He's over there trying to mentor, you know, young men and things of that nature. Why? Because we're trying to become a solution and not be a problem. That's the opposite of what we are. And that's where me and him we have a we have a receptive of one another. We receive one another, because if we're trying, we can't keep just talking about what what do we need to do to, well, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. The hell with the problem. What are we going to do to resolve the damn problem? What are we going to do about that? Stop being a hindrance and be a help. Stop just talking about the problem. Be a solution, or come up with a solution. And you know, that's where me and him we come together, because okay, we can keep talking about, well, there's not enough people talking about this, that, or the third. The hell with that. Let's talk about it. What do you think? How do you think we should go about it? Well, we go about it by A and B and C. Now that that's out there, it's not up to us now, because we did our parts, right? We had the conversation. We put solutions out there. Now it's up for people to receive that pass. The completion can only be made if they catch it. If they fumble the ball, that's not on me. That's a turnover for them. They're turning over, not me. It's not even about me. It hurts us because we're on the same team. We're giving away possessions that we can be developing and get ready to score on. Now the other team is getting it. We're not trying to do that. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding each other to where we can be great. We can strive for perfection, but greatness occurs before perfection. But all of us ain't even trying to be great. We just here. So now we have to work on it. We have to complete the path to show our greatness for one another and each other and together. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I am fighting a losing cause. But I'll tell you one thing. I know if I get knocked down, I know I'm going to get up. Songwriters say a saint is a sinner who falls down, but they got to get up. That's because they understand where they're destined, where they want to be. If you want to be that and there's people out there trying to help you, receive the damn help. Stop crying about there's nobody out there. Everybody's talking about it. There are people out here that's trying to give it a solution. There's people out there trying to make a community, a comfortness, so you don't have to feel alone. You got to receive it. It's not about us receiving it. You got to receive it because it's available, right? You got to receive it. There's ways of getting to this information, and there's ways of being received. But you have to check yourself, right? You got to examine yourself. You know what you need. You know what you want, but some people turn their wants into needs, and that hinders them. If you understand you sick and tired of sick and tired, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you have to make the adjustment, and there will be somebody there available to help you with that adjustment. You just got to stop worrying about, well, if they're going to use this against me or whatever have you. Faith goes a long way, right? Even the process of having faith goes a long way. But if you don't know the process, you won't see the development. You plant it. Stop planting seeds on thorny ground and expecting, you know, a beautiful development, because something's going to choke it out. Don't plant your seed on rocky ground. Don't put a foundation on a beach. Why? Because there's a great possibility that something's going to wash that foundation away. The sand ain't going to hold it. The paper ain't going to hold your plate. You got to understand what's around you, and there's people that's willing to give you the tools that you need. You got to put it on something. You don't need the proverbial table. We can all sit on the ground. If you have a picnic, you don't got a table at a picnic. So it's about where you set up and who's going to be there with you. In order for this thing to work, there has to be cohesion. There has to be a togetherness. There has to be an understanding. Yo, if you run that route, I got you. I'm gonna throw the ball before you do the hook and ladder, right? Meaning before you turn around, the ball's already coming towards you. All you got to do is know that it's coming and have your hands open to catch it. That's the completion of a reception. In order for a reception to occur, somebody has to throw you a ball. In basketball, in order for an alley oop to occur, somebody got to pass it towards the rim so you can score the 2 points. That's just the way it goes. Stop thinking that you can do everything by yourself. Stop being afraid that somebody's here to ruin you instead of help you become a better version of yourself. When that happens, you stunt your growth. And y'all already know if you're grown, you can't grow anymore. You stop the effectiveness of what's going on around you. So you can't go ahead and be that better version of yourself if people are in the way. You have to allow people to get out of the way or remove them. It's okay. It's okay to lose. I'm learning that the hard way. There's so many people that came and went out of my life, right? Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in real life. Like I said earlier, those two coexist. They're one and the same to me because whether we understand this or not, we have now turned this social media platform into our everyday lives. Oops, I didn't mean to say that out loud, but that's just the truth. Because people come on here and not understand, hey, we creating content, but hey, we also influencing people. So people are receiving nonsense that we're putting out there. I don't want to put nonsense up here. I want to put things that make sense, that's easy to receive, that people need, right? Because people want entertainment. I'm not an entertainer. I mean, I could be, but that's not a necessity for me. I want to be a need for, well, I want to be a person that contribute to changing, to improving. Y'all know I don't like that word change, but you know, I want to be that person that helps you improve to become that better version of yourself. Everybody's saying, like Meek is saying now, it's wild here. It don't have to be wild everywhere you go. You can have a peaceful conversation in this chat, in other chats. But if this app is only known for chaos and mayhem, people ain't gonna do the work to find out where that comfort zone is. They'll give up before they'll do the work. That sounds like an everyday aspect for me. Well, not for me, but to me, because people are not willing to do the work. Well, nobody's going to understand me. Let me keep my mouth closed. Well, nobody's going to believe me. So let me not talk about the trials and tribulations that I'm going through. No, there's people that want to help you, but you got to want to help. You got to be receptive of people wanting to help you. You can't keep running away from situations if you don't know where to go. You don't know how to voice yourself. There's people that want you to release that, man, because we understand that pressure bust pipes. We will be receptive of it. Sometimes, there's people that they trauma bomb, they love bomb, they do all of these things. But at the same time, there's people that really wants you to get that off your chest. The Bible says, try the spirit, see if the spirit is of God. So I'm gonna translate it for people to understand. Try a person and see if that person is good or not, right? Because everybody don't have spiritual eyes. Some people don't have their third eye ain't open. They don't have the spiritual aspects. So when you don't know, you have to develop it. And there are people here that's trying to allow you to develop it. The renewing of the mind means you got to let go of certain aspects that you know to be your everyday situation, right? There's people arguing the silliest things. But it's not even silly because you don't have the open mind to see if it's true or not because you don't want to do the work. So those are the things that we have to do going forward. Those are the things that we have to put on display. But it's like I said, it's not up to me to do that. It's you guys that the people that's doing the work. They gotta want that to be done. They gotta want to receive that. They gotta want to be a participant. But we understand in this game called life that you know majority of the game you're gonna have to have teammates around you. You're gonna have, we understand. For example, we understand that there's golf. We understand that there's bowling. We understand all of those things. But the majority of the games, right? The majority of the game of life, you're gonna need teammates. You're gonna need people around you to help you to get to where you get to where you gotta go. Even in those individual games, you still need a trainer. You still need a coach. You still need somebody because in all reality, even though those are individual games, no man is an island, and that's just a factual part to it, right? So, what up, though? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear music, bro.
Oh, oh, I hear you now. Go ahead.
What is the music playing?
Say that again.
Is it music playing?
I can hear you. You breaking up a little, but that might
Oh,
be me. Somebody trying to
no,
stop this flow.
no, for some reason I hear music. Hold on, let me drop down and come back up.
Uh, yeah, that could be me too, because it's a new app for me as well. So, I'm trying to learn this, right? Even like if I give the suggestion they use this app, I have to understand what it is, right? Uh, for me, I don't, it's cost effective for me to have different apps to use the stream and things of that nature. I have to, she said Timu. I can't.
Yeah, why do I hear music, bro? I keep hearing
I got
music.
music. I don't got no music on, do I? No, I don't got no music on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I added you to the stream. Yep, you good. But what's going on though?
Nothing, bro.
Yeah, so I just, for me it was just important to have this conversation because if I don't have this conversation then, nothing, a closed mouth can't get fed. And like I said, sometimes you get sick and tired of seeing people go through this type of aspect, right? There's so many people that want to be received by the wrong person instead of being received by authenticity and genuineness. So, it has to be spoken about because nobody wants to be on a losing team. We do things to win. Now we're not going to win all the time. We understand that, but at the same time, we can't be consummate losers, right? Yeah. Well, I don't want to be the Brooklyn Brawler. If anybody follow wrestling, y'all know who the Brooklyn Brawler is, right? That's a person that constantly lost. Every time you seen him, he would lose 90% of the time. Then he becomes synonymous with losing. I don't want to be that, right? We want to be winners. We don't want to be losers. We trying to become victorious and not be victims. And in order for that to happen, you have to receive the help that's in front of you.
Can you hear me now? I hear
Yeah, I hear you.
think I got the
Yeah, Echo.
same. Listen. Oh, shoot. Okay. No, that's good. Okay, I don't know what's
Y-
going on. But it's cool. So, uh, no, everything you said obtainable. That's the key, man. Is making things attainable for people. You know, you break things down easily, and it's gonna be people who receive it and some people who don't. And like we talked before, you know, we just accepting the ones that receive, but we have to be available and show people that we consistent in our message. So I appreciate you for helping me with that, bro. I appreciate that because that's rare. You know, like Meek said, it's crazy on here, but it don't have to be. It's crazy because of the people putting the energy. You know, so that's the energy people presenting or projecting. Is the craziness, but you know, having multiple channels on the same accord with the same decorum, we have the potential to change it. Just like we make it, we can unmake it and make a more positive, more beneficial environment. Where like that's why I got to get the Discord started because some people don't feel comfortable talking on here because it's public. You know, like Commander said the other day. You know, so making that other platform where you have a private, intimate conversations where people will feel safe. You know, like we was talking last night, build the environment, show somebody it can be different on there. You know, and I appreciate everybody in the nine. That's what we've been doing for the last year, but we turning it up a little bit. So yeah, the music was good, Commander. Like Teacher or Charlie Brown. I think it's just the echo. You still there, bro?
We had people that was just, you know, in the chats, right? So it was comfortable conversation that was had, right? So now, we, like you said, we if we gotta go somewhere else and have that comfortness for them to talk, that's cool. But that's why a lot of the times, if people really wanted to talk to me like on a one-on-one, I made Instagram for a reason, right? So you can have that conversation in the background, right? Me and you private, we have we have our own conversations in the background, right? And the fact that you have embraced embraced me and trusted me into certain aspects in your life, right? It allows me to say, yo, that's a humbling experience because not many people may get that opportunity, right? So you have to embrace that. But in order to embrace that, you have to receive the fact that somebody thinks of you at that high level, of that high regard. And I want people to understand that while that is a grand gesture, you're not beneath, nobody is beneath that type of thing. So Meek, you already know. You listen, you better stop because we have had conversations. I just, when you was going through certain things, you called me and I'm not going to tell your story. You could tell that story, but you understand when you have those type of situations, all you can do is develop it into the spots and positions that you want to develop it in, right? If word reaches out to me and we had a conversation, I have to show that I am a person of my word, a man of my word. And so far, I believe I've done well enough to continue on with building whatever relationship. Our relationship is still growing, right? We look at each other as brothers. Why? Because there's conversations that nobody else is privy to that I may have been privy to. And whether it's personal or whatever, he feels that he can confide in me and I've done my part to confirm that he can confide in me. And that's the completion and reception that I'm talking about. When somebody gives you the ball, you gotta score. You can't just fumble it. You can't just throw people away like that. There's human beings involved. There's people's emotions that's involved. There's people that your very words can either strengthen them or hurt them. And I'm not the type of person that wants to hurt people, so I have to do the best that I can to empower them. But their trust in me, that's what empowers me. So I may be looking at it differently, but I just feel like, the pitch and catch aspect is a necessity in order to develop relationships.
Now, see that's a healthy cycle, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you give and receive, and I appreciate that from you, bro. Like just having those conversations, like you said, I can bounce. I think your head made of rubber or something, bro. 'Cause I be bouncing so much shit off of it, and I appreciate just having that outlet because you can't a lot of people ain't receptive to building relationships because of past experiences. That's why I appreciate Tay. Tay let her guard down with me all the time, bro. If she agree with what I'm saying or if she don't, she at least let her guard down and she has that understanding. Like, even if I say something that she doesn't like, want to hear or like to hear, and vice versa. Y'all tell me stuff all the time, especially Commander. Shout out to Commander. It's
Shout
stuff
out to
that I may
Commander.
not want to hear, but is necessary for me to hear. And I appreciate because I know the intent, because the consistency of it. I don't feel nobody in the nine ever said nothing to try to break me down, but build me up. And it's about perception. A lot of people ain't used to certain things, especially being on here. Maybe an experience on the internet has been one of you know, indecorous experiences, things that doesn't feel pleasant, and that's understandable because if that's all you had on here, that's how you perceive things, and it's hard and it takes time for people to really understand. Like, damn, they genuine, but it's the consistency. We just gonna keep doing it until it's recognized, and even after it's recognized, you know, people can understand. Like, damn, this is just how they are.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the consistency of a thing, right? The more you practice, it's just like when I first started, right? I first pushed live and I was like nervous, and you can hear the nervousness of somebody that's starting this for the very first time, right? But we have to understand while we're nervous, there's people that's going to be in your chat, right? There's people that's going to be in your corner. Yo, you got this. Keep going. Don't worry about that. That's why, I know people may take this like as a side joke or a side gesture. That's why mods are important, right? Because you may run into a situation to where you sitting there looking down at your comments and going through what you're going through, but at the same time, you trying to get your message across, right? But the mods is going to sit there and monitor things that, all right, that's going to help. We're going to leave them alone, right? It takes a team to win a championship, right? Because we're not on an individual course, we're not on an individual field. So we have to, it takes time to trust people, but you got to make yourself available to be trusted. So if you're not doing that, and if you so afraid, you can't receive nothing. So those are the things that we have to, you know, encounter and adjust to in order to make a better vision for people to understand that, hey, a better you is a better us in your terminology. But if they don't understand it, we have to continuously, you know, stay the course. We got to continuously teach or speak about it to where, what, finally they grasp it, finally they understand it, and see if it works for them. That's all we can do. You there? Or you on mute?
Yeah, my bad, bro. I had to grab something from the wife real quick. about to take my stroll. I gotta stretch my legs, get my blood flowing.
And like you have been one of them people, right? You have been open and honest about certain aspects in your life, right? You told your testimony of the family dynamics that you come from and how you work to overcome it, right? So anybody that understands that, they have to understand where you're trying to go with this, right? You like, for me, it was a no brainer to communicate with you, because you know if you're willing to tell the harshness of your life, that means you'll be willing to easily allow the access of fluidity to come into your life, because that's what you are really looking for, whether it's you know on this app side, your personal side, your business side. Who If that's the goal, then who wouldn't want that same goal? If we're on the same page, it's not about you being right, it's not about me being right, it's about it being right. Let's go ahead and set the goal, and let's march for it. Anybody wants to join, y'all welcome. At the same time, we ain't taking the nonsense of you trying to destroy it. We're gonna have to leave you where you at. And that's just the way, the pitch and catch aspect, like I said, that's how it has to go. And it's not a fault of nobody. It's just the way that it has to be in order to complete the task. So, it's just a manner of working together, right? If you, like I said, if you out there, you practicing, like we can just give a look and we know where we're going, right? We know what play we're gonna run. We know which way we trying to reach the people. All of those things count. And if you practice enough with each other, you could just give a sign that only you and I would know. And when that happens, you know, we might do some great things. We might score on the very next play, or we might gain the momentum to keep going for the score. However it goes, we have to work together. So, that's the thing that, I want people to grasp and understand, excuse me, going forward, because in order for this to work, you know, everybody has to be on one accord. If everybody's all over the place, your result is going to be all over the place. And that's not a winning situation. That's a losing situation. Nobody does this to lose. We do this to gain. So, one way or another, we got to continuously, practice until we master it. I'm not going to say perfect it, because everybody, oh, nothing's person perfect, or nobody's perfect. So if you master it, you know exactly how to use it, when to use it, or when not to use it. So we have to work. We have to continuously work. And I appreciate Word, because he's a consummate professional. He's a consummate worker. A lot of us here are, but I'm speaking about him because he's the one that's showing it the most, right? Everybody has a role to play. I think Double Speak was saying there's members in the, it's one body, but it's different members. But that's what a team does. A team works they work their role. And if everybody works their role to their best of ability, 90% of the time we're going to win. But you can't just slack off on your talent. You gotta have the ability to engineer something new to where you're not the same. So, that's why I say work while it's day. Work on it all the time. Because if you don't work on it, it's going to be removed from you. That's why faith without works is dead. So, I mean, I don't even know how else to describe that. I mean, for me, there's no other way to put it. I
I
think he on
mean,
the phone still.
you
There you go.
you you said it right, bro. I mean, you just hitting the nail right on the head. Am I echoing you? Yep. Hold on.
And even while we're having this conversation, I'm looking in the chat, the connections that's going on. See, for me, that's the joy of doing this, right? You know, they say networking, right? If that's what y'all want to call this, I'm calling it building, right? If you are building for something to become better while we're having this conversation, it's a win, not for me, it's a win for everybody. That's why, I understand the logic of a better you is a better us. Because while we're conversating, we're seeing the fruits of communication, joining people together, and that's like I said, I'm seeing a completion right in front of my eyes. That brings comfort to me. That brings joy to me. Why? Because they're doing it because they're making their own connection. And it has nothing to do with us. It's the fact that people are doing it because they understand, there's a means to an end to whatever they're trying to do, and they're doing that. And now they're bearing the fruit of what they're trying to plant. That's what you and I do for the most part. We just plant seeds. We water it, we let the light hit it, and then the rest is up to its natural course. If we doing our best, we know that God is gonna give the result that is warranted, right? So we just got to continue to do the work. So shout out to the chat and shout out to my 33 brother.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I know I was echoing. I'm outside now. You probably hear the
That's
cars,
okay.
but like even going back to the need and want aspect, you know, oftentimes, my bad.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. Go ahead. It's just, like I said, it's just the aspect of, right? Like even now I'm talking to you, like I'm on a live and people are, checking up on me. You good, you good, you good, you know what I mean? And that means something to me. That means I must be doing something correct in order for things to be possible like that, right? I mean, it's not a phone call, but it's just people just making sure, yo, you good? Hey fam, you good? Hey little bro, you good? Hey big bro, you good? That's all because of what you are throwing out there. There's people understanding your energy, your emotions, your spirit, right? And when that happens, you know, for like I said, for the most part, you're gonna be received by a bunch of people. We know that there's gonna be that one or two that's trying to, how YouTubers say will try to troll you and all of that. You know, the good has to outweigh the bad. If the good outweighs the bad, you continue to go with it. If the bad outweighs the good, you have to overcome that and fix it to where that can't happen no more. We got to take the good and the bad. That's a part of life. But if you working more towards the good, then you should be able to overcome that obstacle that we consider to be bad. But as long as you got people that's yo, I got your back, you got my back, and we can turn all of our weaknesses into a strength. But in order for that to happen, we have to be receptive of who wants to help you. So that's just the end all be all as far as you know the completion of a reception, right? As long as somebody's throwing you the pass and you catch it, do something positive with it. Do something that makes sense, that keeps the momentum of you becoming a better version of yourself, or you becoming that superstar, or you becoming great. However you want to view it, you have to do something with the ball that you now possess. But just remember that somebody trusted you enough to throw that pass to you, and when you receive that pass, you know say, yo, good pass, I appreciate it, things like that. But a lot of things is like chivalry. It's dying. It's a dying breed. Like common sense and common courtesy. It's a dying breed. All because people expect you to do that. Like they earned it instead of understanding. You really got to earn that aspect. But maybe I'm just talking a little bit too much. I don't know, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Like I said, I just felt this in my heart I'm seeing things to where, I'm not, what people say, people are crashing out. You don't have to crash out. If you have that seatbelt on, and you know how to slow down, and somebody's in your conscience is telling you to slow down, you have to understand first and foremost, your conscience is your first preacher. He's going to guide you to where you need to go in order to have that protection, that peace that everybody's so crying for, so much desiring. But you have to have the ear to listen. Those who have ears hear what the spirit is saying. If the spirit is telling you to go ahead and keep going forward, you go forward. Like I said, my next topic, I'm telling you, y'all gonna be mad because I'm gonna say some things that's gonna be controversial. It's gonna be to the fact to where I don't know if he was that person in the first place. But if you listen to understand, you should receive the message, right? I'm just throwing the message out to you. You should be able to receive it. But if you don't receive it, then it's an incomplete pass for me. I gotta find a way to get a better connection with people. That's something that I would have to work out, not you guys. That would be on me. But I don't know, man. I'm just saying a lot, you know. I'm just saying what's on my heart, right? If that's the passion that people don't like, I apologize for you. I'm not apologizing to you. I apologize for you because you have to understand, when people want the best for other people, this should be an overflow for other people, right? This passion for wanting others to succeed should be an overflow because it's something that's within you. Whatever you have within you, if you have enough of it, it's going to flow out of you. So if you have hatred, that's going to flow out of you. If you have malice, that's going to flow out of you. If you have toxicity, that's going to flow out of you. But with me, I am who I am, right? Shout out to the lowest chakra, right? But anyway, shout out to the creator, right? Oh, shout out to God, right? Because if I am who I am, I have to know that I am able to do these things. But that's another story for another day. But anyway, uh, I think my guy is having technical difficulties or whatever the case may be. So,
Man, these
I'm
phones
just happy.
loud as heck, bro. You don't hear them? I'm like, I can
Huh?
barely hear you, but it's just loud when I'm walking at it. But I'm almost back to the crib.
Oh, okay. Nah, I was just, like I said, I was just, having a conversation of, you know, ready to like I'll put it to you like this, guys. For those of you that's been following me the longest, right? I think out of everybody, it would be Meek and Realist. They probably see a change in me. I don't know. They may view it as good. They may not, right? But they obviously have seen a change, right? It's because sometimes you have to do things to improve on your message, improve on what you're trying to give out, right? Because sometimes, you know, you have to understand there are babes in this world, right? They can't eat the foods of an adult because they don't have the teeth to gnash and chew and digest that thing. So you got to give it to them in a liquid form. It's not to say that everybody is to be disrespectful and say that they're slow, or they just may not understand what you're saying because it's a newness to them, right? So you have to, I know my 33 brother, he don't, he don't like the aspect of meeting people where they are, right? But I say, uh it's just the simple fact that sometimes you're gonna have to be a babe to a babe, right? You have to give them that food. You got to give them that healthy food, not that Gerber food with all the iron in it, because we know it's gonna mess them up. So we try as best as possible to meet people where they at, to give them the food that they need in order to develop into that adult. It's a process. And when you making those passes and you making those attempts to throw somebody the pass, you have to understand where they at exactly. So if they're babes, they're babes. If they're grown, you could talk to them in a different tone or a different dialect or whatever it is to reach them where they at. Rollo, what's going on with you? right? So those are the things that we have to do, but it's all about the reception of the person that you're throwing the ball to. They may not like it. They may not like the speed you're throwing it to them. They may want it in a certain aspect. But even with that, you have to practice with that individual so you can be on the same page. And if you don't go about it that way, then you know the timing is everything, right? So, but even with the timing, you have to work at it. If you don't work with it, then it's you're not going to be on one accord. That's the goal for everybody on the same. Everybody on that team has to be on one accord. If you're not on one accord, there's going to be dysfunction, and with dysfunction, you can be defeated at any given time. You can be defeated anyway, but you want to lose at your best instead of you know giving people the aspect of winning because they think they're better. You know what I mean? If you dysfunctional, you make them look better. But if you at your best, you got all the confidence in the world that you can win the game. So that's what I want people to understand with conversations like this. Because if you don't understand that, if you all on dysfunction, you can't win too much with dysfunction. You're gonna lose more than you win. I promise you that. So it's about being on one accord, being receptive of one another, understanding one another, and working together to become that better version of the team that we trying to, become. We trying to be that Super Bowl winning team, that world champion. It takes time and patience, but we have to work at it. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that we trying to get to. So, but you know, we just have to continuously work. Well, I thought he was coming in. So, that's the aspect of it all, guys. And if it seems like I'm rambling, y'all bear with me, right? Because I know my guy wanted to come up here to add to it, but whatever's going on over there, either we'll do a part two, or we may, knowing him, we may pick this up tonight. So you may have to come through tonight on the word channel. But I just want people to understand that we are here for a reason. We are here to be a betterment, an empowering force to one another. Right? We're not here to be crabs in the barrel. We're supposed to be that dove that gives the olive branch to people, and you know um and allow people to understand that there's peace that can be received by you. So those are the things that we have to do. Like sometimes we got to do a little bit more to be received, right? But Miss Chicago, how are you? Good afternoon. But those are the
Miss
things that
Chicago,
you,
Rollo, what up, though? My bad, bro. My phone went off like an alarm. I didn't expect that. But go
oh,
ahead,
okay.
Reggie.
No, I'm just saying that we have to continuously work at it because, like I said, in order to be a master at something, you have to work at it. I don't want to use the word perfect because, like I said earlier, people going to say, well, that's impossible. Nobody's going to be perfect, but you can master something, and that'll be close to the perfection that we are all striving for. Reaching for the sky, reaching for the stars, and all of that aspect. We'll do things in that manner. But if we master it, you know, we can be a formidable foe. We can be back to back champions, right? You could be Bobby Fischer in chess. You could be Patrick Mahomes in the NFL at this particular time. Tom Brady, right? What does that mean? That means you are the head of the class. You the creme de la creme, and that's what we really want people to be for themselves. But if we have to set an example that is possible, then I'm willing to take that step. So it's not, the ball is no longer in my court. It's up to whoever wants to receive this to receive it. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm really trying to pass along. So hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying, and it does make sense. You know, that's all. That's the only thing I can hope and ask for. You know what I mean?
And, a lot of times what people don't understand, even, the slogan of the nine, the better you, the better up. Simply talking about self-development, but it's so complex because there's so many different ways you can develop self. But the reason I even came up with that, shout out to Cat Daddy. You know, I call Cat Daddy Sensei. You know, when I was first doing this thing, he was like, "Man, what's your mission statement?" He was like, "Why is people coming together? Because you know what happened when people come together without a vision, without um, substance, without a reason to come together." And I'm like, "Well, we all can grow. We all can self-develop. How do you fix the world? The world ain't broken, bro. It's the people in it. So if you want to fix the world, you gotta fix the people." So it's just education, motivation, inspiration. And when we live in life, man, we gotta have fun. You know, there's no purpose of living without enjoying the fruits of your labor. So we entertain as well. You know, having those aspects and concepts, I don't see like even when people, you know, not recently, but in the past, people were like, oh, that's a cult. Like, how's it a cult? You know, we all individuals. We come together because we want to be better versions of ourselves. You know, and it's me being a better version of me is gonna look different from Gary being a better version of himself, better than Commander being a better version of herself, better than Tay BDB. You know, we all will do it differently, but we all working with one another. We all learning from one another. Thus, we all grow from one another, and that's how everything that thrives on this planet does. The ecosystem itself. Think about it. If you don't have bees, there's nothing to pollinate. They can't pollinate the flowers. The flowers won't grow. The trees won't grow. That's why bees are so intricate. But yeah, they annoy us when they sting us, but we need them because the way they work with other organisms. That's how we are. You know, we all different, and for some reason, we all want to be the same. But the differences is what will help us grow as individuals. You know, it's just learning how and who to interact with. I'm not gonna say everybody's supposed to be kumbaya. That's not it. Because even when you look at the planet, every organism or animal or insect don't get along with one another. But the ones that cooperate with one another build something beautiful. And it helps sustain other life, not just their life, but it helps sustain other life. And that's what we are supposed to do. It's people like when we talk about racism, do you know how many you know how many racist people built things that we utilize today and make our life better and easier? And how many people who racist people hate built things that make their life easier? That's just how it is. Nola, chill out. My bad.
Hmm. But that's the thing, right? Now, like if we stay on that one subject, right? There's a lot of things that people don't like. For example, a lot of people don't like bees. A lot of people are allergic to bees. But guess what happens if there's no bees on the planet, right? Your flowers don't get pollinated. You don't get honey. You know, all of these things occur. It's people have a tendency to say that one little thing ain't gonna hurt nobody, but in all reality, it does because it could destroy a whole ecosystem, right? No bees, no flowers, no oxygen. We can't breathe well. It doesn't. It helps us remove the carbon dioxide. We just, you know what I mean. All of these things occur. It's just that's why you have to continue to work with each other, right? Because if you don't work with each other, we're not on that level as the animals, right? Even though a lot of us think that we're told that we're better than animals, as long as the animal stays in its natural instinct, we don't value them as much as we're supposed to because they're a necessity of life, right? You know, that dynamic alone, it just shows you how much more receptive we have to be with the surroundings around us, the environment around us. We have to be more receptive of it because if we take it for granted and things are disappearing, we don't know why we're not breathing the same. Why we're feeling illnesses where 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 other aspects are missing because we don't understand our surroundings. That's why you have to know what's around you. But if you don't do the research, you don't study, you don't do all of these things, you don't see the importance of what's going on around you, and that's a hindrance for a lot of people, and not that's definitely never been helpful. But we have to do the work as a you know an individual, a group, however you want to look at it. Ozone layer, oh, they, the ozone. Yeah, and look what's happening now. We just went through a whole winter where everybody in the United States was cold. Y'all think that's just a coincidence? Y'all don't think there's something that was tampered with? Whether it's, you know, people gonna have the conspiracy. Well, that's a man-made device. Whatever it is, there's something that was tampered with. Something tampered with nature. Something interrupted the flow of nature. And now, for the first time in over 100, 200 years, South is below what below the temperature is below average. They getting snow in Florida. They ain't had that in years and things of that nature. There's things that's occurring. That's because we're taking things for granted and we're not working together to understand that we need to do better to get better results. So it's a difference. But I mean, everybody has their own ideas and opinions.
It's like hell freezing over.
Hmm. And
Really
people
tough.
don't think that,
Like,
you know,
but
that
what you saying is true,
that's the
bro.
crazy part. That's
It's a
the
shift.
that's
You know, you see things that we got the Gulf of America now. You know, so um, yeah, bro, we about to go to Mars. Yeah, yeah, shit weird,
But
bro.
see, Commander, if that is nature, if nature's doing it itself, then it's supposed to be that way. But if we don't know about it, like who told us this was happening 200 years ago, right? We would never know. So if we did, we would have been better prepared for it, right? It wouldn't have been people that's freezing to death. It wouldn't have been people, you know, homeless and all of these type of things that's going through those situations. Now we take it for granted because we got homes, we got apartments, we got heat, we got all of these things. But there's people that's not even prepared for these type of situations. That's why uh I say, if we're gonna do better, we just have to do better. We have to be prepared for things, right? Now they talk now, I hear somewhere down the line now everything is gonna go back to being where it was. So down south is about to get there 60, 70 degrees in the beginning of February. Florida is about to be 80 and 90 degrees in February. If that's natural, then we shouldn't be surprised about it. But, because we don't do no work, we're not aware of certain things. That's why we have to continuously work.
And if it's nature going off what we're accustomed to, we gotta ask why. What occurred for this to happen? You know, people don't do that. You know, 'cause maybe it's something that we do. Maybe it's too much pollution in the ozone layer, and you know, the Earth is a living organism, bro. Just like our bodies, when something undesirable and decorous to it, it's go auto correct. It's go reset. There's a reason why the South need to be cold because for some, you know, it is restoring something in the South. So that's just natural, bro. So it's just being aware of why things occur. I so within, so without. Just like we look at ourselves as an organism, we have to understand the earth is the same thing. And Mother Nature, it ain't gonna wait for us to do right. It's gonna do what it needs to do to get right. So I say,
And mhm. And like I said, that's why we have to, like I said, we have to continuously work together. We have to work together as a whole, right? We have to, division is always going to occur. We understand that part. That means we're not made for everybody. We understand that, but for those that you can work with, let's work with them, right? Let's get together to have ourselves covered and protected. Like I said, my weakness may be your strength. Your weakness may be my strength. So let's stand side by side, so that way we don't have a weakness. You know what I mean? We can defend all aspects. Like we understand that we're not going to win every time. We just know that the majority of the time we are going to win. Why? Because we're on the same page. We understand each other, things of that nature. And the more of us that come together, the better of a protection that we can have against you know, the foes that are against us. That's why if we understand no weapon formed against us will prosper, it's because we have the defenses of everything. Everything is a strong suit and not a liability. It's an asset. But until we work on ourselves, we don't know what's our liabilities because most of us only focus on the assets and leave the liabilities alone. But that might be another conversation for another day too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that probably went over people's head. But like you were saying earlier, Double said something in the chat about individuals playing their role. I'm just summing it up, but that's what it boils down to. We all good at something, man, and it's just finding the way to put the puzzle pieces together. You know, um, and like I said, the more and more I do this, I've been doing it for 2 years now. The more clarity I get, of why people are so reluctant to join groups because they got so many bad examples of groups. But you have to look at the why and not the what. Look at why the people came together, and when you look at that, you understand they had no vision. They had no, as Cat Daddy would say, there was no mission statement. There was no objective for them to complete. They just came together because I wouldn't even say out of necessity, but out of want. Like when we talk about need and want, they're two totally different things, and they utilize differently. And we try to
Hmm.
make them interchangeable, but if we use them or utilize them in the proper sense, we get more benefits out of it. Some people may need to be in a group, and that's fine because, like you said, reasons and seasons. When that need is over with, some people may stay and create another need or even develop a want to be in a group, but some people, may fulfill the need and leave, and vice versa. People may want to be in a group, and when that want is fulfilled, maybe they develop a need to stay there, or they leave. But ultimately, it's just not trying to really make one better than the other one, but use it in its proper place, and you get the best results out of it. Like when you asked me that question last night, is everyone's different, bro. So some people
Hmm.
thrive off need, some people thrive off wants. It's just understanding the individual and helping them reach their goal. Like personal development, anybody can participate in that. And it may be a need, or they just may want to develop different, skills and techniques or aspects of themselves. So it's just understanding the individual and putting them in the right place for them to succeed within the group. Everyone can have success on the way to the goal of the success of the group. We can still have our own individual success as well as contributing to the group success. So it's just understanding that operation. And like I said, it's due to experiences. Some people just never experience being in a group in a positive aspect. Some people just never experience, so they unaware of how it works. But it's just us being the example. And, I appreciate everyone in the line because y'all helped me create that example. How we can all, thrive within the group as individuals.
Well, I'm appreciative of the fact that even in the chat, right? Like I always, people may question why do you always shout the chat out because they play a key role in the development of things, right? They help the content creator, they help his flow. They help his viewpoints or her viewpoints. All of that occurs because they're in the chat. They're having the conversations. They're saying the things that they want to say. Now, lately you and I we've been talking about having more people come up, right? But we want that to occur because their voice, their testimony, their story, or whatever you want to call that, it can help somebody get through a situation. And that's why, we are wanting and clamoring for people to do that because it's about helping people. It's also, we understand about each one, teach one, but the help that your story can bring it may not be replaceable. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that we want people to understand going forward. It's not, you know. We're not doing this for clicks and views, right? We're doing this for development for people to become the best versions of themselves, right? And your story may have reached somebody. My story may have reached somebody. Commander's story may have reached somebody. Uh, it's just the fact that you having the courage to do that. It empowers people, and that's the thing that that's allowing people to receive that. Yo, if anybody could, I can do the same thing, but because you did it, I can do it as well. That's empowering, but that's the reception that people may. That's the reception that they may need in order to tell their story. So that's why we're clamoring for things like that, for that to occur.
And I'm gonna jump down after this because my phone about to die. But that's
Hmm.
all, bro. And like I said again, I'm always show gratitude and appreciation, and I'm always recognize what people do because it's that's how you build, bro. Is by making people aware. You see their efforts and even their sacrifices, man. A lot of y'all sacrifice, even coming over to my channel, y'all be sacrificing sleep to rock out with me, bro. And I appreciate that because y'all don't have to make the content so people can hear and you know see our interactions and be like, yeah, I can be a part of that. So I appreciate y'all and I'm grateful, for y'all doing that. And
Oh,
it's
well,
not about it's not about what we don't have. It's about what we do. And we got a bunch of great people in the chat, and we building, we growing, more people coming through, and that's it's just a process, man. And as long as we stay the course, the right people. It's about getting the right people too, bro. You gonna have a whole bunch
absolutely,
of people that come through, and they just ain't gonna be feeling it, and that's okay because, like you said, we ain't for everybody. If you ain't trying to do better, then for me, you ain't trying to get better, and I can't do nothing with that personally. And there ain't no knock against nobody. Everybody where they at for a reason,
absolutely,
and sometimes it's just not people's time to grow or develop, or it's just not their time. Maybe they need more examples. So that's why I try my best. I don't. If I criticize, it's more instructive or constructive. It's never out of malice. I'm just speaking upon what I see. And I just see a bunch of broken people, and that's okay because in many different ways, I still have things I'm working on. That's why I'm with y'all. That's why we developing together. So that's
absolutely.
understandable. But it's the intent. Like we trying, we doing it, we putting in the work. That's what's important. And if people ain't ready, then that's understandable too. But that's not gonna
Yeah,
stop us from what we doing.
it,
That's not gonna
it
make us
can't
slow
stop.
down. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But let me hop down, bro. I
Um,
appreciate you
I
letting me.
appreciate you. I appreciate. Shout out to my 33 brother.
Shout out to
He
the chat.
making a special appearance in the daytime. You know what I mean? We know he that owl that he that dark winged duck that want to be in the nighttime, but he made a
God.
special appearance. We appreciate him. We appreciate him coming through, right? The one thing about this app, right? This I can't even the Eve Mux is that they give you for this plan. I'm on the free plan, so they only give you 2 hours. So the fact that I'm trying to be impactful within that time is one thing, but you know, in all seriousness and all reality, right? Before I get out of here, I truly do appreciate everybody that came through today. You know, your comments, they're always a plus. Even like I said, y'all allow people to see that the development of the connections over here, right? The throws and the catches that y'all doing in the chat. It allows people to see how comfortable that the the channel can be. It shows people that when it's time to be serious, we can have a serious conversation and we can make the connections, even if y'all talking about you know your own dynamics, but you feel comfortable doing that. And that's the thing that, I truly want to occur as far as my channel, as well as, whatever I'm saying, it be impactful. But you guys are all a key with the impact as well, right? Even if you come every once in a while, the fact that you do that It allows other people to say, you know what, that might be a place for me to be. That may be the place for us to go when push comes to shove. And and if we have some things to talk about, we can get off our chest. We can have that conversation here. So shout out to everybody that's in the chat. You know, Commander, Miss Chicago, my 33 brother, Realist, Rollo came through, Double Speak came through, Scorp, uh, Meek. You guys are so appreciated, right? That's why, I can say with all sincerity, without you, there could be no me. Selena, good afternoon, right? Without you guys, there could be no me. Because if you don't encourage me to continue to go on and have the conversation, to push push through whatever situations I may be going through, as far as the doubts of people not receiving what I'm saying, or people paying attention, or whatever it is, right? You guys give me the strength to do that. Even when you just come in and say hi, right? It allows me, to say, they're not doing this to be loyalists. They're doing this because that's how they genuinely feel. Scope, cut it out. Um, yeah, but that's the thing that we're trying to, that's the thing I'm trying to develop, right? I'm trying to to encourage people to feel comfortable to have the conversations, or just express themselves the way that they want to express themselves. And if they need help, as always, I will be here to do whatever I can to assist you, right? Even if I'm the last person on the planet, I will be here to do what I can in order to be that person that, it's not about being right, right? It's about being accurate for you. Uh, being, consistent with you, not to be made to be a false advertiser, right? But if I'm consistently doing what I say I'm doing, that's what I need to do, right? But to sum up what the point of the live was today, right? The point of the live is that, a lot of times we put ourselves in we put ourselves in positions, right, to where we try to connect with people. And the fact is, a lot of people may not be receptive of what we're throwing, right? They may not be receptive of our agendas. They may not be receptive of our ideas. They may not be receptive of what we're trying to accomplish, whether it's on this app or in everyday life. But we know that the two are one. But as long as you make the attempt to throw your ideas out there are going to be people willing to receive your ideas, to receive your ideology, to receive what you're throwing them, right? And when they are receptive, those are the ones that you have to look at a little bit more. We're not here. We understand that we're not for everyone. We understand that we're not going to be received by everyone. But we also have to understand that we're not meant for everyone, right? People are not going to understand our agendas and all of those type of things and aspects. So the ones that are the ones that want to be receptive of us, we have to make sure that we're on the same page, and we have to go to the page to where we are mastering our timing with one another, or we're mastering our relationships with one another, whatever you want to call it, right? If you don't want to call it a relationship, call it an association. But even in that situation, if you practice on it, that association too can develop into something much greater than just an association. So continue to put yourself out there, because somebody is going to be willing to receive you for who you are and the greatness that you can become. Just be ready, because somebody's going to be always open for what you have to throw out there for everybody. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming through. I may have sounded long-winded today. I know there was bad things that was occurring, whether it was my mic, my 33 Brothers mic, whatever it was. But the one thing that we can honestly say, no matter what the obstacles that occurred on this live today, we still understand that the message was received by the people that wants to receive it. So I appreciate everybody coming through. I will see you guys again shortly. Y'all be ready because there's some topics that I'm going to touch that may be a little different from what I'm talking about now, but understand it's a point that needs to be made, and it's to inspire, it's to construct and not destruct. So with that being said, I truly appreciate you guys once again coming through. Until next time, I'm gone. I appreciate you guys. See you guys later.